Thanks for joining us today. I am Doug Lust, East Coast Regional Manager for HM Cragg. We also have Dan Loftus along with us, our Sales Director. And we'll turn it over to Sami Hussaini to give us a nice presentation here on the lithium option for the 9PX. We've got about 30 minutes here together, 20 minutes for the presentation. And at the end, we have 10 minutes for questions and answers. At this point, everyone's muted. If we could stay that way, we'll open it up for questions at the end. If we run out of time, please shoot me an email. I'll get answers from Sami and shoot those back out. So at this point, Sam, take it away.
Doug, thanks so much, and I appreciate the intro. And so yes, my name is Sami Hussaini. I am the product manager for the 9PX and 9SX product lines, which is our single-phase double conversion UPS units. And so we come together today, and I appreciate the time to go over the new launch of the 9PX Lithium Ion 1 to 3 kVA UPSs. And it's a pretty exciting launch. It's my first new product introduction since being at Eaton, and I've only been here for about 1.5 years. So excited about this. It's a very hot, trending item. It's very popular. There's been a lot of excitement around this portfolio, so we're getting really close to the launch. So once again, I appreciate the time to go over a little bit of a presentation on it. So let's just start right into it. All right, it finally went to the next slide. So today, the training agenda, it's going to consist of a quick overview and recap of our current 9PX lead acid units at 1 to 3 kVA. We do so just to understand that this is not anything that we're replacing the lithium ion. We're not replacing the lead acid. We're going to have the lead acid units. We're going to have a lot of the same characteristics that we've seen with this portfolio that we'll also see with lithium ion. So you're not learning a brand new line. It's just we're taking what's already very popular, a hot seller, and really giving it that value add of lithium ion. So we'll go through the 9PX lithium ion overview, of course. We're going to ask the question, why choose lithium ion versus lead acid? So what's the value add of lithium ion? The target market and the competitive landscape. And then we'll go through a little bit of a technical aspects of the safety, the chemistry, and a little bit of an overview of the BMS or battery management system. And then at the end, I've already addressed some questions that have been asked on other presentations via email, via some other opportunities we're working, just kind of compile those in 2 slides to address before the Q&A at the very end. And as you see on the right, that's just our front cover of our brochure, which is now available. And we'll go through some of the other resources that we have. So let's jump right into it. First, once again, we're talking about the current portfolio of lead acid to really introduce lithium ion. So we're looking at the topology of double conversion online, which provides the highest level of protection by isolating equipment from raw utility power, providing 0 transfer time to battery for sensitive equipment. So we see this is all essential for critical site applications, of course. The voltage does include low voltage and high voltage models. And we see input connections and output receptacles are all plug and play. Features include the 2U rack tower form factor, also offering load segments allowing prioritized shutdown, remote power cycling, and automated restart protocols with those daily and weekly reboot schedules. Other features include the ROO or remote on-off, remote power off, and output relay ports providing increased controls. The remote on-off or ROO port allows you to remotely shut down the UPS and restart automatically when the remote contact is reset, which we see is great for light industrial applications. And then, of course, we see the 9PX also has a 0.9 power factor and up to 94% efficiency in online mode, cutting energy usage and costs. So one more view, we're looking at the selection guide here, and this allows us easy visibility of which SKUs or models in our lead acid line, which are highlighted blue, will be offered in the newest lithium ion portfolio. And we see it's a big chunk of what we currently offer. Many of the characteristics of our lead acid line will translate and be duplicated for the lithium ion portfolio. These include the same power ratings on the majority of units, and we'll address that later. We'll also see the same input connections and output receptacles along with the same dimensions. So differences to note and mention here will include the reduced weight of lithium ion. The UPS and EBM will have a much lighter weight versus lead acid. And we also see a 1U EBM with lithium ion versus our current portfolio of lead acid with a 2U EBM. So you'll see U space, which will be saved, and we'll look at that as a value add. So let's move on. And now that we've briefly reviewed the current portfolio, let's jump right into the exciting launch of the 9PX Lithium Ion line. So we can see on the left all the models offered. So this includes low voltage and high voltage units, of course, plus you see those SKUs with the N bundled, or the N included. That is a bundle, which we include our network card. And just to note, I really see this migrating maybe over the next year, maybe sooner, maybe a year and a half, where I believe all SKUs will have network card into bundled in. But for right now, we're offering UPS and a UPS plus network card option. So we can also see adding up to 4 EBMs or external battery modules will add your extended runtime. And you see right there at the top, first to market. This is really important. We'll be the first major UPS manufacturer to offer a global double conversion 1 to 3 kVA lithium ion UPS in the US. So this is true even with a couple other smaller vendors already entering the US market in the online space. And then I know the big question is availability. When's this happening? So I'm classifying this launch as starting in May, moving into June, July. Okay, so I kind of classify it as a 3-month launch. You know, it move into August, but this is just when we really focus on getting the word out, presentations, getting resources out there, and then incoming units into our warehouses. So limited quantities available in late June, new shipments arriving in late July, and obviously every month thereafter. So when to quote, reach out now for projects closing Q2, Q3, Q4. You know, I've got a lot of opportunities in the pipe, and I'm keeping a close eye on all these and getting updates. So I'm being very proactive. So a lot of popularity there. And, you know, with that, I'm really increasing my forecasts for the upcoming months and even going into 2022. So it's a pretty exciting launch. Just here, quickly reviewing a couple examples of the rear panel view of our lithium ion low voltage and high voltage UPSs. Once again, I just want to point out that we will see the same great options and configurations which we've come accustomed to with the current 9PX models. I only point this out for the main fact that we have taken our very trusted and popular line and kept many of the characteristics there. So we're not relearning. This is what we're offering, and it's all the same good configurations. And all the rear panel views can be found on our website, which the website, working hard on it, should be ready and go live within the next couple of weeks. So we'll have lots of resources there and a lot of content. And so moving on to the good stuff, let's address the customer needs and the value add that we see with lithium ion. I've compiled a nice little chart just to give you the lead acid versus lithium ion view. So first we look at average battery lifespan. I feel like this is the biggest bullet point. This is where you see set it and forget it. This is where, you know, with lead acid, we've seen a battery replacement anywhere from year 3 through 5. And with lithium ion, we're looking at years 8 through 10, that battery lasts all the way to 8 through 10. So we're seeing a 2 to 3 times longer lifespan of a lithium ion battery versus lead acid. So it's truly set it and forget it. With weight, we're looking at a 20% lighter UPS, 40% lighter EBM, pretty significant, allowing easier installation, saving time and money ultimately. With that EBM footprint, we mentioned it's a 2U EBM for lead acid versus the 1U EBM for lithium ion, increasing that use space for critical equipment. And then of course, warranty, We've been offering the 2-year standard warranty for our 9PX and 9SX lead acid units. It will be 5 years lithium ion, which obviously is increased in warranty coverage. I apologize if you're going to hear my dog in the background. Hopefully that doesn't last too long. So another big benefit, increased runtime with the UPS only. Looking at UPS only, we see the 80 to 120% more runtime at full load. This is our cost per runtime minute. Also, we're looking at a battery replacement cost, and this is really just kind of analyzing TCO, or total cost of ownership. So with this, we're looking at a battery replacement pack and the labor or service cost for one replacement, averaging around $650. This really varies upon the model, but that's kind of on the lower scale. So you see at one replacement, $650. This is zero for lithium ion, obviously. So a reduced total cost of ownership, and we'll kind of go into that a little bit more in the next slide. So one big feature of the lithium ion UPS is the battery management system. And why do we need a BMS? Advanced battery management improves reliability and performance, and is responsible for monitoring, balancing, calculating, and predicting. So why an Eaton-owned BMS? Well, in regards to safety, Eaton can choose the right chemistry, safety margins, and controls for the UPS applications. We will review the BMS and safety in more detail in later slides. So moving on. So we briefly touched on TCO, or total cost of ownership, on the last slide. Let's further expound on some of the details and answer the question, is it worth it? So we will see initial cost of the lithium ion UPS outweighs their respective lead acid counterpart. And it is at years 3 through 5, which, depending on the application and environment, we will see replacement batteries needed. Now, obviously, this operating expense needs to be expressed as total cost of service, which includes the battery pack replacement and cost of service visit. With just one battery replacement, we may now have an increased TCO for the lead acid UPS compared to the lithium ion unit. This does not take into consideration the possible need of a second battery pack replacement at years 6 through 8, which happens in some constrained environments and applications. So in summary, the 9PX lithium ion offers 8 to 10 years peace of mind for the same or reduced TCO versus lead acid models. So we ask, is it worth it? And the answer in most cases is yes. But we especially see it anywhere it is difficult to service, such as remote locations or with large deployments, and also where cost of intervention is high. Also where critical equipment is involved, such as core IT, medical applications, and on campuses. Also areas with frequent outages, which need faster recharges and increased cycles. So let's move on to the target market, and we need to truly understand where will the message of TCO and set it and forget it really resonate. And that first bullet point is the big one, at the network edge, classic IT space, server, networking, and storage. And looking in spaces where it's difficult to service a large fleet of distributed UPS units in regards to battery changes. Also applications where cost of rolling a truck on site far outweighs the cost of lithium ion. Next we see the campuses mentioned already, but this includes large colleges, medical campuses, and the K through 12 school district. Set it, forget it is very attractive with widely deployed closets across campuses. In the healthcare field, aligning with longer life medical equipment, no need to replace batteries in a constrained environment. And then we'll see some at data centers. 9PX is a B-side UPS, hyperscale and multi-tenant applications. And I mentioned I'm keeping up with many of the opportunities, and just to give you a better idea, the current list that I have for, in the sales pipe for opportunities include end users, such as a major global car manufacturer, reputable computer and software company, a major cell phone and chip manufacturer, major universities and medical campuses, community colleges, E-rate, and large school districts, amongst others. So, it's a wide field, lots there. So there's a lot of applications that are really excited to employ the lithium ion UPS. So thus far, we can quickly summarize our premium product positioning. We are providing the #1 value for the customer, which we say it over and over again. We'll say it again, set it and forget it. 9PX Lithium Ion offers 8 to 10 years peace of mind for reduced TCO versus lead acid models, backed by a 5-year depot warranty standard, and this leads to more time spent on the IT aspects that really matter. Of course, when discussing all the great benefits of lithium ion, we can also move towards a conversation on manageability and the industry-leading network connectivity card. So the Gigabit network card M2 was the first UPS connectivity device to meet both UL and IEC cybersecurity standards. We have advanced control with IPM software, allowing for remote management and integration into leading virtualization platforms such as VMware and Hyper-V. And as mentioned earlier, advanced load shedding allows the capability to power your most critical loads longer. Another great feature using the Gigabit network card in conjunction with the 9PX Lithium Ion will be firmware upgrades done remotely. Moving on to our next topic, we can briefly discuss the competitive landscape. So it's been mentioned, and we'll say it again, we'll be the first major UPS manufacturer to offer a global double conversion 1 to 3 kVA lithium ion UPS in the US. As we have seen lithium ion grow in popularity, the line interactive space has seen the most growth in the Americas market. With the addition of the Eaton 9PX Lithium Ion in the double conversion space, we want to leverage the 9 series, already trusted and needed for those critical, mission-critical applications. So by leveraging this new line, we can open up discussions at the end user level. So lithium ion we know is trending, it is the hot topic. Let's promote it as such and ride the hype and allow it to lead the conversation to get us in the door. We need to discuss safety, as it will be a leading concern, and I've had many questions over safety, and it's something that I think we've had other application notes. I know Kevin Lindley, our 5 series product manager, who already released the 5P lithium product in the line interactive space, created an application note. I will also be doing so to really speak to the concerns of safety and why it's not a concern. So my apologies, here we'll get a bit technical, but I'm only sharing a few details as we could probably discuss this over many slides. So for chemistry selection, LFP, or lithium iron phosphate, was chosen due to it being one of the safest lithium ion chemistries widely available. And this is due to its high thermal runaway temperature and tolerance to voltage variation. So as part of DOT UN 38.3 testing, the case temperature of cells may not exceed 170 degrees Celsius or 338 degrees Fahrenheit. Since the LFP cells, lithium iron phosphate cells, used in the lithium ion UPS have a thermal runaway point much greater than this temperature, risk of thermal runaway when exposed to situations like the test conditions is further reduced. And then, so discussing the BMS, the Advanced Battery Management System, monitors every cell, improving cell balancing efficiency. It actively tracks temperature and charge voltage variation, minimum and maximum voltages, multiple temperatures, state of charge, cycling, and health, amongst others. The BMS also addresses and mitigates each condition which may encourage dendrite growth. It provides a precise state of charge and accurate state of health. The BMS and chosen LFP chemistry work in tandem to provide the safest offering and allowing peace of mind. So we've reviewed the portfolio, and this is where I mentioned we'll go through a couple slides of FAQs, frequently asked questions, and I have seen this multiple times dealing with sales, internal and outside, from HM Cragg, for example, and other presentations. So I just wanted to go ahead and list these first before we jump into our Q&A session. So let's start with that first one. Does Eaton see lithium ion fully replacing traditional lead acid batteries? So we believe in lithium ion technology. However, we do believe there will be continue to be places where lead acid is more suitable, and expect to offer a balance of both lead acid and lithium ion solutions, even as we continue investing in longer life battery solutions. I like the benefits of lithium ion, but how do I make sure it's the right investment for me? The longer lithium ion battery life of the UPS, which we've mentioned is 2 to 3 times battery life of lead acid, can eliminate the cost of procuring replacement batteries as well as the labor cost for in-person battery replacement. So while it's true the capital expenditure is higher for lithium ion, the lower OpEx cost can offset that upfront investment for many customers. Temperature has been a pretty big question. So what is the max room temperature for a lithium ion battery? The operating temperature range is the exact same as our lead acid models, and that is 0 to 40 degrees Celsius or 32 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're seeing this exact same temperatures for lithium ion that we did with lead acids, and I think there's probably gonna be other questions surrounding this. So if you do have other questions, I can answer that at the end of the session or at a later date or via email. Can you upgrade currently deployed 9PX units to lithium ion? The answer is no. The 9PX lithium ion models have additional communication capabilities, such as that battery management system mentioned. Lead acid units do not have the BMS, so it's not possible to upgrade standard units to lithium ion already deployed to the field. Are there any differences in power factor of 9PX lithium ion versus lead acid? Yes, we will see a lower power factor at the 3 kVA range. It will be 2,400 watts, but, and there's a big but, when adding an EVM, we do see this power factor increase to 0.9 or 2,700 watts. And just a simple reasoning for this is early on in the project, decision was made to keep this UPS at 2U versus moving up to a 3U size. So that decreased power factor was a sacrifice. What is the type of chemistry for these lithium ion units? And it's been mentioned, it's lithium iron phosphate, LFP, and it is the safest chemistry and chosen because of that. 9PX lithium ion is nearly twice or 1.85 times the price of the standard 9PX. Why is there such a large gap? So lead acid batteries used on our standard 9PX have been optimized over many years. And even though the demand for lithium ion is increasing, an important price gap does remain for the moment. Upfront cost of the lithium ion version is higher, but longer life and longer warranty coverage need to be taken account in the complete TCO approach that we've already talked about. So, support, I think everyone here probably understands our support structure. But just to mention it again, we have, from an Eaton perspective, we do have our Avery Creek inside sales engineers that will help with all the pre-sales. So there's the option there. We're going to have the website, which goes live here in the next couple of weeks, already mentioned. But, we're going to have the FAQs there, brochure, user guides, specs, interactive runtimes as we've had with other UPSs. And I've already recorded a training and added that to our Power Advantage Partner portal. So all the resources are available. Website's going live here in a couple of weeks. I've made myself truly very available for many of these opportunities. You can reach out to Avery Creek, inside sales, outside sales, HMC, myself. So putting myself out there, I've been very busy, but I'm pretty excited about this, and I'm trying to take a very proactive approach. So with that being said, I think we still have a few minutes for some Q&A. So I'll leave it to it.
All right, thank you, Sami. At this time, I'm going to unmute everybody. So if you've got a question, feel free to go ahead and ask.
And I will mention, if there's no question, maybe I did a great job and I've answered everybody's questions, but I'm sure after the presentation in a couple hours, a couple days, next week, there may be other questions that pop up. I'm available. Everybody knows how to reach out to me. So, if any questions come up, please feel free to push that towards us.
Hey, Sammy, Doug Lust here. While we're waiting for questions, one question I get many times on lithium is fire suppression and the fire suppression code.
Well, Doug, I couldn't understand everything you said, but I believe you said the question was surrounding the fire suppression code. And at this point, and I'm going to do a little more research, in terms of codes, I believe it's going to be the exact same as lead acid. You know, I mentioned the chemistry used, and the main question that comes with lithium ion is this chemistry safe? How much safer is it versus lead acid? What's the big worry? And I think when addressing that, we have to talk about dendrite growth, thermal runaway points, and we touched upon that. And I can send out more information related to that. And Kevin's already wrote an application note regarding 5P lithium, and we're using the exact same chemistry, a very similar battery management system. So many of the bullet points that he touches on and is further expounding on these details of any worries on the chemistry and safety, we can find that on that application note. And I think, as I mentioned, I'm also going to be creating a separate application note for 9PX. So that will address most of those points. Now, you know, hopefully I've answered most of that question because I didn't hear the entire thing. But if I didn't, Doug, I'll be more than happy to address that via email. We can get it out to everybody that has that question.
Okay, no, that was a good answer, Sammy. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Hey, Sammy, Doug, again, I'll ask another question if you don't mind. Say a IT guy has a mix of 9PX lithiums and VRLA. If he walks his site to the naked eye, is the bezels different? Can they tell immediately which one is a lithium and which one is a lead acid?
Well, we just talked, so if so he has it in the field, he wants to know which unit is going to be lithium ion and which one's going to be. Well, when it comes to even the bezel itself on the front of the unit is going to say lithium ion. So that's the first, you know, I know when you look at a picture of the current lead acid UPS, you look at lithium ion, there's not a huge difference. The main difference is going to be that blue badge versus, you know, kind of a silver badge for the lead acid unit. But on that badge, it will say lithium ion on it. So you don't have to go to the LCD display to even tell you that information. I think that answers your question, I hope.
Yep, absolutely. And then the obvious thing on the EBMs, the lithium is a 1U and the VRLAs is a 2. That's the way to tell those apart.
Correct. It'll be, you know, it'll be much smaller. Yeah, and it's that 1U size versus 2U. Once again, you'll see the badge that mentions lithium ion on there.
Correct. Excellent. Thank you.
And I think what we're going to see, you know, just addressing the EBM, is that with that longer runtime with the UPS only, you know, I mentioned 80 to 120%. I've already seen a reduction in EBMs needed for some of these applications, because when someone just needed, you know, maybe 6 to 8 minutes, and they now need 10 to 12 minutes or something such as that, you needed a UPS plus EBM with lead acid. Now you only need the UPS. So it's cost savings right there if we're looking at certain applications and addressing runtime.
All right. Well, Sami, thank you so much for the presentation. Good information. I learned a lot, so that was very helpful. Appreciate it, and for everybody that attended here this morning, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone, for attending. Sami, great job. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Everybody have a great day. Thank you so much.